Hi there, I have a real treat for you. I'm joining you here from the heart of Dublin in Cows Lane in Temple Bar with one of Ireland's most successful and longest established designers, the wonderful Claire Garvey. Welcome to Sunday Girl, Claire.
Oh, thanks so much. Absolute pleasure for you to be here in my store, finally.
Well, listen, I walked in here about an hour ago and it's like walking into a land of fantasy. It's just so beautiful, Claire.
Oh, thanks. Well, I've had the most strange people come in. I had American tourists come in that asked for their fortune to be read. They thought it was some sort of mystical Irish Celtic shop. So we get lots of interesting people in. I think it's the flashing lights that does it to them. They don't know where they are. You know.
And really interesting people, because I know that Niall Rodgers actually officially opened the store for you.
That was absolutely amazing. It was 3 years ago that I bought the shop, and I'd had the shop for 20 years and I had done stuff for Niall for the Oscars and for the X Factor and Bette Midler party, and he actually flew over and cut the ribbon of the shop. But the funny thing was, at the time I gave him a blunt scissors, so we had the red ribbon all ready to go, and he was there trying to cut the ribbon and he couldn't, and there's pictures of us like rolling around laughing.
It's incredible.
It's absolutely,
and your pals.
Yeah, well, he's been absolutely amazing to me over the years. Like, I mean, he's worked with David Bowie and Madonna, and you know, the very first time I saw him was for the X Factor, and I was absolutely petrified to meet him because, you know, he's so impressive. And we arrived at the place and he's just sitting there in an armchair, and he tries on the jacket for the X Factor and then goes into the bathroom. And I followed him into the bathroom and I could see him looking at me going, what are you doing in here with me? But he just kind of, I think he gets my sense of humour. He thinks I'm just kind of a bit quirky, and I think he's such a quirky, enigmatic person himself. So.
Yeah, he's a wonderful person. I know he loves Ireland as well.
Well, actually, when he flew over here to cut the ribbon, I didn't realise that he had been diagnosed again with cancer. And he could have totally said no to it. He didn't say a word, and he came, gave me a big hug and talked to all the press outside and all the people that wanted to talk to him. He gives his time to everybody, you know, which is
rare in this business.
And he pays for the outfits. Like a lot of celebrities would expect things for free. He actually says, no, you know, I want to pay for that. I, you know, appreciate the work.
And guys, this is really important, and we had this conversation beforehand, is that in my job I deal with a lot of up and coming designers, and sometimes, you know, celebrities wear their looks, but the celebrity doesn't pay the designer for that look. And yes, it may get column inches, and yes, it may put him out there, but it doesn't pay for the designer's dinner or their mortgage or their accountant or their solicitor or their website. And it's very important that, you know,
if
you get rewarded
the
for
musician
your work.
is getting paid for their work, and the lighting people are getting paid, and the makeup artist is getting paid, there should be no reason why the designer doesn't get paid either. I always, if I'm I will rent it to celebrities or whatever if they want to use it for the night, but I never give pieces for free, because if you don't value your own work, then who's going to? You know, you have to have a value to what you do as well.
So mortals like ourselves here can rent anything here. And I think we were saying earlier as well, with the whole Marie Antoinette, this new series that's coming out, that, you know, this kind of more ornate, more fantasy dressing is really coming back into vogue as well.
And especially after COVID as well, people were so fed up of being locked up, literally.
In gym wear. In
gym wear with their bottle of wine and their pizza slice or whatever. And now people want something unique. They don't want to order online mass-produced pieces. They want to feel, they want to have a piece that makes a statement, or even a headpiece or headwear. Like, we do simpler pieces as well for people. I mean, we just had a lady in today who came in and thought it was totally theatrical, and then went out with quite a simple tunic piece. So,
and it was gorgeous on her. And it took her all of, I say, 5 minutes to make the decision. She just fell in love with it.
Well,
look, we're mentioning Niall Rodgers, but you have a huge celebrity following. Do you want to just name drop there just a few for us?
Well, I've Pink owns one of my pieces, which is absolutely amazing because I did some pieces for Mark Schulman, who is her drummer. And he loved my stuff because Bang Bang Romeo were supporting Pink on tour and they were wearing my pieces, and Mark Schulman saw them and then gave one of my pieces to Pink, which is absolutely amazing.
Amazing.
We've done Eimear Noone, who has been such a supporter of mine. She was the very first female conductor of the Oscars. And just sitting there at home watching the Oscars, watching her conduct the Oscars with Sigourney Weaver introducing her,
Wearing Claire Garvey.
It was just phenomenal. And, she's been a great supporter of mine all these years as well. So it's...
And more recently I saw Lyra as well.
We do stuff for Lyra, Jack L as well. We've done a lot of stuff. Mary Coughlin, Tolu McKay as well, who's doing brilliant as well. And all these people would rent or buy the pieces from me. Jack L.
And tell me, you're just back from the Big Apple. Tell us a little bit about that, because it was extraordinary. And what an accolade for you to be chosen.
It was absolutely amazing to be invited. Jessica Ming Ang is an Asian supermodel, and she'd seen my pieces in the Pompidou Centre in France. It was at a Madame Figaro competition for international designers. She invited me last year to Paris, but because of COVID, that was cancelled. And this year she invited me to New York to show a 20-piece collection. So we had the two people who work with me, Arturas Gastulik and Sora. We all went with like 11 suitcases, 20 pairs of shoes, 20 headpieces. It was like
a nightmare, I'd say, going through customs.
It was absolutely mental. And I always get stopped going through customs because the glitter that I use in some of my work reacts with the metal detector. So to see them on the Hudson River,
it's absolutely
and then
incredible.
For El Italia to actually use one of the pieces just yesterday published in El Italia was just phenomenal for me as well. So it's been a roller coaster, you know.
It's been a very eventful couple of weeks.
Yeah, it's been
an eventful
fantastic
career. I'm going to take you now way back to the beginning. And when you graduated from college, you won the prestigious Smurfit Young Designer of the Year. And that was at the very beginning of your career. I mean, what a boost.
It was fantastic. I remember I actually grilled all my fabrics for that. And I was living at home at the time and my mother was going mad, you know. She'd come in and I'd have lame grilling under the grill. So it was...
under the actual grill.
Yeah, literally. I think I was a pyromaniac and I was getting it out that way. But if you look at the pieces, they were quite theatrical, and the fact that I won that competition and represented Ireland in Amsterdam gave me the impetus and the confidence to follow my dream and do what I wanted to do, as opposed to a lot of designers are worried, you know, it's not going to sell, it's not going to...
they're always trying to look at trends and see can they kind of get ahead of the trend so they can sell. You didn't have to worry about that.
I really believe if you do what you love yourself and you follow your own path, the right people will come to you. And whereas if you start thinking about that, you actually create something that's watered down and that's... it's not true to you, and then becomes less significant as well. So I went to Russia after I graduated from college. I applied for a master's there. It was just, when you leave college, people say, what are you going to do next? And I thought, oh, sure, I'll apply for this master's. I won't get it. And then I got it, and it was like, oh my God, I'm going to Russia. And I had 6 weeks of Russian lessons beforehand, and literally thrown in the deep end with... I was in a class with all Russian people, obviously, didn't speak any English, but we learned through vodka and through smiles and things, to communicate with each other. We were brought to the museums and we were able to handle the pieces, and all the ballets, the Bolshoi Ballet, which obviously it's synonymous with. It's kind of, I think there is an element of Russia in my work for sure, because the corsetry, we learned a lot about the corsetry over there, and I kind of specialise in corsets.
And corsetry, of course, is incredibly difficult. It's very much its moment now as well. Taylor Swift has just done a video with Dita Von Teese, and there was special corsets made for that video. Yours is more beautiful, I have to tell you,
thank you very much.
than hers. But again, they have come, corsets and part of the female form, I think they're a sign of power now, where once they were a sign of producing a certain body shape.
Exactly, and I think I was saying to you earlier that the corsets, they can be worn with shorts and high boots, or they can be worn with long skirts for events, or you can wear them with jeans. So corsets now, and also guys can wear them as well. The gender fluid, people can wear what they want now, and I think corsetry looks beautiful on everybody, and that old phrase, you can dress it up or dress it down, but I love them. You know.
It's beautiful.
And you can wear them with a big shirt underneath, which also...
You could wear that with a white shirt underneath.
Modernises
black pants. You know, so again, it's like what you're saying is that you're taking your work and you can break it down.
I'm amazed.
Give yourself personality and wear it every single day.
The first jackets I did, it was for Nile Rodgers and then Dancing with the Stars, but I found that women were coming in to buy the men's jackets because they were oversized men's jackets, and then so I started doing more jackets, and then guys were coming in buying the tops I had for girls. So it's there's no such thing anymore as male and female. Well, there shouldn't be. You should just wear
what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know, life is too short.
and that is so true. Yeah. And it's wonderful that fashion eventually has got to that conversation, that we kind of say now that it is not gender specific. I mean, Harry Styles now is a great example. And the only reason that comes into my mind is that I was in the V&A last weekend in London, and there was an exhibition specifically on that conversation about gender and dressing. And I think it's when it's presented to you, it opens your own mind, and we all in many respects need to open our own eyes on that conversation as well.
Well, that's it. Sure. Was it Paul Mescal, the Irish guy, was in a magazine with thigh-high boots. We even had Daithí O'Shea in Kerry in the Rosa Tralee wearing the long red boots.
And they suited you, Daithí. We need to see those in the Today Show, don't we?
Oh, we definitely do. Well, I tried to get Daithí into one of my jackets, but he did actually model it on the show, but we'll have to get him into another one with the boots.
No, I'd say he'd be game ball for that now.
Yeah. But I love Kerry as well. I've been there so many times.
You've shown there multiple times in big shows.
Real heart for Kerry, you know, in Jacks of Cromaine and with Norma O'Donoghue, the model agency. So really, it's a very special place.
It is a really special place. I have to ask this, I know people watching this who may not be as familiar with you will say, does Claire Garvey get up like this in the morning? Does she roll out of bed like this in the morning? And is she like this every day? You live, not only is this your brand, but you kind of embody it and you live it and you breathe it. This is you. This is authentic you.
Yeah, I carry my hair in a bag in the morning on the bus, and then 2 minutes later, people think I spend about 20 hours plaiting my hair up, but no, once I come into the shop, it's like my hair is on, it's time for work. You know, it's a bit like people putting their teeth in the morning or whatever, but I don't even own a pair of jeans.
Really?
I don't have trousers. I just find them very uncomfortable. So, and also for young designers, you need to wear your own brand. You need to be your own brand.
Load up the truck there. We're taking it all.
Oh, great. I'm going away on another holiday.
No. What advice would you give? I mean, you've given really essential advice there about not giving yourself away for free and living authentically to your brand. But what other advice would you give to a young designer now starting out in what is an incredibly difficult career?
It is. I'd say don't worry what other designers are doing. Stop looking at other people's pieces and saying, oh my God, that's in such a magazine or whatever. It's about you. It's not about anybody else. Be true to your own work. And bit by bit, people will come around. I mean, I've been around now for 20-something years in this shop, and I'm still going, and I bought the shop. So follow your dreams, and it's not about anybody else. It's not about a race with anybody else. It's just about you, you know.
It's both profound and beautiful. Thank you so much.
It's absolute pleasure and delighted, and I'll get the truck ready for you to load the truck.
Thank you for inviting me here, and both of us, we wish you an extraordinary week.
Yes, absolutely.